Hi guys, this is Lekha bringing to you the daily news podcast at Sourcing Classes. All the news you need and more.
Series of news podcasts, we will first discuss the Vodafone dispute and secondly we'll discuss the Turkey and Greece tensions. So, the first article reads Vodafone wins $2 billion tax case. International Tribunal says that India's demand for in breach of fair treatment. We'll go about this article by overviewing it, then we'll see some chain of events and some facts that lead to this particular case. So, on Friday, Vodafone PLC Group has won a long-standing arbitration case against India's IT department. Rupees 22,000 crores was demanded on a retrospective basis by the IT department. In 2012, January of the year, the government amended the law retrospectively, putting liability on the Vodafone Group. So subsequently, this was because of the acquisition of Hutchinson Wapova in 2007. This is when Vodafone entered into the market in India by buying a 67% stake in that company. So the IT department says that they are liable for tax deduction at source under the Income Tax Act. In April of 2014, the Supreme Court has said that this is not fair and they have quashed the demand by the IT department and they have taken Vodafone's side. But the government did not take this well and they proceeded for conciliation. But that was disbanded. So finally in April 2014, Vodafone initiated arbitration proceedings against India. What is arbitration? It is similar to domestic court litigation, but instead of taking place in a court, it takes place in any place that the arbitrators decide and taking place in front of private adjudicators who are actually called arbitrators. The important thing about this is it's consensual, it's neutral, and it is most importantly binding on both the parties because they have come to this conclusion by themselves. I mean, they have joined the proceedings by themselves. And usually it is much faster and less expensive than traditional court hearings. And what is tax deducted at source? This is a concept under Income Tax Act. And as per this concept, a person who's a deductor is liable to make payment of specific nature to any other person, which is the deductee, who shall deduct the tax at source and remit the same to the central government. So that is about it. We will see what happened in the Vodafone deal. In 2007, Vodafone planned to buy out Hutchinson SR, but the problem was this happened in a very roundabout manner. Its subsidiary in different countries, London, Hong Kong, and Netherlands, had exchanged cash for shares with a similar holding company for Hutchinson SR, this one. But this happened in Cayman Islands, which is a tax haven. Because of this, there was no tax which was paid in India and the deal was entirely sewn up offshore, because of which the Indian authorities had no say in the matter. So that is why they say that they have to pay 22,000 crores, which includes principal and interest, and it was originally started in the UPA regime, UPA 2 regime actually. So it has bought 67% of stake. It has purchased this particular company, CGP Investment Holding at Cayman Islands, from Hutch at $11 billion. So on this, the income tax authorities want them to pay their tax. Now, this entire retrospective amendment is in breach of the bilateral investment treaty between India and Netherlands. This bilateral investment treaties are usually signed between two countries and it is for protection, promotion and safety of investment of both the countries' businesses. And this is a landmark victory for Vodafone and will set a good precedent for others to take up international tax issues at international arbitration. This is a very important point. The Ministry of Finance said that they will again continue and they will find out ways to come up with other sources of litigation, or if they can find any sort of problem with the These are the chain of events that have happened in the tax battle in India. In 2007, Vodafone gets tax notice after buying Hutchinson India's mobile assets, and it moves to High Court to challenge the notice. Then they dismiss the petition, and then in 2010 Vodafone moved to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says tax can't be levied on the deal which comes out of retrospective amendments. The problem with this entire deal is the amendments are retrospective. And in 2013 Vodafone gets a 14,200 crore tax demand, and they move for arbitration proceedings, and in 2020 they win the case. Some highlights of what we have discussed is that this is a landmark judgment because it will set a good precedent for other people to take up the international arbitration. It also resolves the controversy that tax issues could be contested against investment treaties or bilateral investment promotion treaties, and it resolved this particular controversy, right? Then India is entangled in a lot of litigations in similar ways, also with Cairn Energy, and this might actually lead to India losing out a lot of money for the exchequer if they do not win the case. Coming to our second article, US supports Greece despite Turkey's call for neutrality in the Eastern Mediterranean tension. Give diplomacy a chance. Greek PM invites Turkey for talks. For this article, we will first understand the sources of tension since they are myriad. We'll see the maps of the region and different players, and then finally we will come to the current events. The causes of tension. Currently, this is going on in brief. A row between Turkey and Greece over gas and maritime borders is raising tensions in the Eastern Mediterranean. Gas has been found very recently in this region, and now they are contesting that both of them have claims. The continental shelves and maritime boundaries is another thing because both the countries follow different conventions. Greece follows UN law of convention of sea, and Turkey follows the continental shelf theory. There's the problem of migrants. So a lot of people from Turkey go to Greece from the Aegean Sea or the Mediterranean Sea, which is a cause of concern. And another very recent development is that of Hagia Sophia. For years it was a site of syncretism, and Kemal Atatürk, the earlier president of Turkey, had deemed it a museum. But recently, since Turkey is trying to establish itself as an Islamic caliphate in the world again, it has turned it into a mosque under Erdogan, which is a problem since this is a site of syncretism and majority of people in Greece are Christians. Another problem is that of Libya. Turkey is set to deal with arms and exports ammunition to Libya, which is a problem since there's a trade embargo on this and it goes against all international agreements. About Cyprus, we will see in detail in the next slide.
And competing claims different groups have made over it. Since the bloody conflict took place in 1974, the island has remained divided between Greek and Turkish Cypriots. The southern half, the majority Greek Republic of Cyprus, is recognized by the United Nations. The Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is not internationally recognized, but its autonomy is nonetheless guaranteed by Turkey. Relations have got so bad between the fractious neighbors that both sides have threatened military action to defend what they say are their territorial rights over the sea. Normally, these territorial rights are defined by the UN's Convention of the Law of the Sea. This document allocates up to 12 nautical miles from any nation's shore as its territorial waters, and up to 200 nautical miles as its EEZ or exclusive economic zone. As the name suggests, anything found in or under the ocean out to this distance is its own.
Let us now understand the recent happenings in the area. In 2019, Turkey had signed an agreement with Libya where they had agreed to share the continental shelves. The problem with this being, Libya is under a trade embargo. That means that it is not possible to trade with them. Next, in recent July, Turkey had put out a naval alert known as NAVTEX. NAVTEX is a telecommunication system that is used in the naval ships. And it said that it was sending its ship Oruk Reis, which is on the left side. You can see the image. here, which is a research ship to carry out surveying of the drilling in waters close to the Greek island of Castellolioso. It's a very short distance from the south or southwest coast of Turkey. After this, immediately after this, a week later, there was a ship collision between Greek and Turkey, where a Greece ship had collided into a Turkish ship. After all this, in August 2020, mainly because of this deal and Turkey giving constant threats, there was a deal which Greece signed with Egypt, which said they will now also have their own continental shelves and then they will share the resources in the continental shelf. Because of this, Turkey got pissed off and they had suspended talks. But now a lot of players are involved in this region. Example, France. So France had sent Rafale fighter jets to Greece to help them, and it has also employed its frigates in the Mediterranean Sea to help out Greece, which is its European Union member. So after all this, now they're finally NATO technical talks which are going to be held very soon.
The maps of the region. Between Greece and Turkey, there are two seas. One is the Aegean Sea and one is the Mediterranean Sea, which is the south of both the countries, this entire region. So problem is with these little islands which lie between both the countries, and they obviously have their own exclusive economic zone and their own territorial waters. But the problem arises when islands like Rhodes, Mykonos, which are so close to the Turkish territory, are actually a part of Greece. Similarly, there are a lot of islands near Greece which are a part of Turkey. Since each island is exuding its own exclusive economic zone, it's very difficult to determine which is whose territorial waters. Now, when when Libya and Turkey had signed an agreement to share the resources in this exclusive economic zone, a part of Turkey fell into this region, and this is again contested. And similarly, when Egypt and Greece had followed their own agreement, this purple line is Turkey's territorial waters or exclusive economic zone which falls in this area. Due to this, there are many contested areas of water and water sharing and all of these. When it comes to Cyprus, again there's another issue of northern Cyprus and southern Cyprus. You can see the green line, which is the Cyprus and northern Cyprus's exclusive economic zone. Another major player in this region is France, who is the protector of this Mediterranean Sea. Although it shares no borders with Greece and Turkey, France has been helping Greece by sending Rafale jets and its warships along with surveying ships into the Mediterranean region to help out Greece as a part of their EU partnership. Now, we will see some highlights. First, we'll understand that in order to prevent a full-scale war, organizations like NATO and the United Nations are trying to de-escalate the tension, since there are multiple players in the region like Libya, Egypt, France, and obviously Greece and Turkey. And because of international presence which is increasing in these waters, they want to prevent a full-scale war. And oil is gold, which is the main reason why this is the cause of tension. And with regards to the international law on sea, no two countries agree to what is right in this case. Now coming to our daily practice question segment, let me read out the questions for you. The first is from the general essay paper. Why the need for greater deliberation required in case of the new labor codes? What are the Quad grouping's priorities in the Indo-Pacific region? How did one of the most controversial disputes between India government and Vodafone come under international treaty come to a just end? What constitutes a domestic systematically important insurers for 2021? What are the roles and responsibilities of the same? Now the short question is about the regional rapid transit system. From yesterday's question about Bruce, the correct answer is D, all of the above. These are the communities which are resisting the resettlement of Bruce in Tripura. Halam, Riyam, Manipuris and the Muslim communities of Tripura. For today's question, we will see what of the following statements is correct regarding the reforms in medical education.
The National Medical Commission has replaced the MCI. Indian Medical Council Act of 1956 has been repealed with effect from September 25th. And the BOG appointed under Section 3 of the Indian Medical Council Act 1956 in supersession of MCI is constituted under which subsection? You can choose the multiple choice question and you can answer and check back tomorrow for the right answer, and you may visit the sourcing classes website for model answers to the questions. This is a wrap on Your News podcast. Tomorrow is another day with another news. Please like, share and subscribe.